Appropriate.
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 Pronounce it by yourself.
Appropriate.
It's not appropriate, it's appropriate.
Appropriate.
Again?
Appropriate.
How can you not know? You just said it yourself. Appropriate. Appropriate. How many times do I have to repeat? It's appropriate. 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 Are you even listening? Are you focusing? Do you understand? It's appropriate. I can't stand this anymore.
Okay, so learning disability is technically an umbrella term for a wide range of neurologically based learning disorders. A child who has learning disability could have difficulty in all or one of the psychological processes. Let's say input, that's your auditory and visual perception. And then you have integration, which is sequencing, abstraction, and then organization. And then you have memory, which involves working memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Output, of course, your expressive language. It could be verbal or written. And then motor, which is basically your motor skills, the fine motor skills, and then the gross motor skills. Let's just clarify something now. When a student has learning disability, the intelligence of the student is average, okay? It shouldn't be mistaken as ID. It's just that because of the difficulties with the different psychological processing, the student has difficulty showing it in terms of, let's say, school performance.
My name is Carmen Romana. I teach kids who are grade 4 and above, up until high school. And I've been actually attending a lot of trainings and seminars since I've been teaching for 10 years or more than 10 years already. I actually worked in a reading intervention center that gave us training. I worked there for 3 years, and then prior to that, I also got the training from the universities like UP, and then I also took my master's degree in special education from LaSalle. I'm actually self-employed right now.
Okay, hi, my name is Eliza Constantino. I've been teaching for 10 years. I teach preschool to grade 7. And I've graduated from LaSalle, DLSU, and I currently had training at the reading center I work in.
Majority of the students I teach are upper graders. So when I say upper graders, from grade 4 and up. Most of them, I deal with comprehension actually. Kids with problems with comprehension and vocabulary, and I also handle students who have difficulty composing, or when it comes to written work or written output. But in terms of reading, most of them really have comprehension problems and noting details, answering inferential questions, as well as when it comes to context clues and vocabulary.
Yeah. Well, the kids I teach are ages 4 to 12. Okay, so that's from beginning reader all the way to those that we tackle comprehension, also writing. Yeah. And most of them have special reading needs. Like some of them are dyslexic, some of them are speech. They have speech delays, and some of them also have language issues. Yeah.
It varies per individual. If the student has difficulty with processing information, well, this one is the most evident one because it has impact on the student's reading, spelling, writing, or even the usage and comprehension of language. Okay, now let's say it also affects your executive functioning. So this is the prioritizing, organizing, and also when you do math. Okay, so that's where the student has difficulty in, and then also following instructions. A student with learning disability will also have difficulty with retrieving and accessing information from his short-term memory to his, and then storing it to his or her long-term memory, and then when needed, okay, the student will have difficulty accessing it. Okay, so the student might come up blank or easily forgets information that was just taught, let's say 30 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. Difficulty with access of information, that is also reflected in his language. He or she might have difficulty using the right words when needed, both in expression and in written. And last is the clumsiness or difficulty with handwriting. That involves the fine motor skills.
Actually, it wasn't like a conscious decision that I want to only focus on them. I'm actually open to teaching kids even of yung beginning reading. It just so happened na mas yung need probably comes from that age range or from that grade level. Since majority of the kids that I started to handle from the upper grades, I decided to focus on that na lang and really try to hone my skills more on teaching them competence.
It's not that I have a choice on who or what sort of kids I get. It's more of where I work, they assign us the kids. So it varies from beginning reader to children who are 12 years old or like who already know how to read, who need comprehension help. But really, for me, it's a mix.
I think there's really no specific age to say when, as early as possible. The parents can actually expose them to books. So you build on the interest. Because I think problems with the kids nowadays, wala talaga silang interest sa reading. And a lot of the parents keep complaining na wala sila talagang love for reading. Probably because of yung mga iPad and stuff.
Yeah.
If you really start reading to the kid and getting them interested and showing them what books are, then that's when love for it can be developed as early as that. And then the skills will follow. The interest is already there, then the kid would want to learn. So
For kids, parang you start them off with coloring, and then eventually they'll pick up a pen, they'll pretend, right? And then eventually matututo na sila magsulat. So parang it really starts with you giving them the tools to be interested in it. Kids even write on the walls as kids, diba? So parang you see that they're interested already. So that's when you can like introduce to them the materials to be able to write.
it's also important it has to be age appropriate.
Yes.
Because parang there are some parents na they want yung advanced, but sometimes this can discourage the kid because it's not of their age level or their yung skill level nila. So you have to be very watchful of that. Na it will encourage them more and it will also encourage success on their part na, uy, nakakabasa ako.
They do critical thinking.
They ask a lot of
They
questions.
ask a lot of questions. First of all, they predict when they see like a book, kahit na picture pa lang, cover pa lang, ano na yan, teacher, oh, I think this is about this or that. And then as you turn the pages, mag-inference na sila, mag-making connections sila. For example, they're in a playground and then maya-maya, the student will say, oh, you know, that happened to me too. Or, that happened to my friend.
And they clarify what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, teacher, I don't understand what this word means. Or teacher, what did the author mean when he said this? So we're capitalizing on start with the interest of the kid because from there it will follow and go. A reader is driven by curiosity.
For a beginning reader, of course, you start with alphabet knowledge. So letter names, letter sounds, rhyming. Isolation of sounds, basically it helps with the spelling. And then blending for them to be able to smoothly connect the letters together so they'll be able to read. And then segmenting for them to cut the words, the letters, the sounds, which also helps with spelling. And then reading, so parang I read it and then they follow after me. They're familiarized with the words, the vocabulary. If bata pa, we usually show pictures, what is this? Or what does it do, where can you find it, yung basic lang na parang we expose them to using their expressive language. And then spelling, of course, because it's their form of writing na rin.
So, for a student with LD, having a checklist is a very good strategy because it enables the student to gauge or at least have an idea of what's expected of him to do. The student will also know expectations beforehand. Okay, it's also best if you included some rules before the session starts. So the teacher did alphabet cards. It's a good strategy because it reviewed the letters, the sounds of the letters, which are prerequisite skills for blending. For children with LD, this is important because it's somehow preparing their mind of what they're supposed to do. Now, rhyming pictures and then identifying beginning, middle, and ending sounds. These activities target phonological processing. Most children with LD would have difficulty in distinguishing sounds, and it's very good that the teacher provided explicit instruction for this.
Ikaw naman, for older kids naman, vocabulary is key. They learn vocabulary through context clues or sila mismo when they clarify. That's what we call clarifying of words. Or we apply what we call collaborative learning. The first step is to clarify words. So after clarifying, we also encourage them sila mismo yung maghahanap ng meaning ng word and then actually use it in your own sentence. So just to make sure that they really understood what that word means. And then we also apply what you call visualizing and verbalizing.
Create mental images
Yeah,
or
it's like
mental
a
pictures.
So
So,
what
parang
did you
nai-imagine
see?
nila
Yeah. So
yung
what did you
nababasa
see
nila.
while reading this page? So I pictured it happening in the park. From the words that they get from the text, they already see what's happening. So that's part of comprehending the text much better when they're able to visualize. After that, we asked 2 questions. It's text-based and a wondering question. The text-based is based or noting details. Based, yung
You
sagot,
find the answer in the
it's
story
in the text,
or in the
yeah.
passage.
Yung wondering question are questions if you don't find the answer. It's called inferential also. We also ask them to summarize and then they can also predict. The student also gets to ask us questions. We also have fluency for the older kids to build on accuracy and reading and speed. And then what we also have for older kids, written. We show them how a basic paragraph looks like, yung parang sandwich, na parang yung beginning, middle, and yung end, na hindi complete yung sandwich mo pag wala yung tatlong
components. Yeah.
And then we also teach them basic outlining and then how to edit your work. So usually we use a caps, so capitalization, and then A is
Capitalization, tapos P is punctuation,
punctuation and S is spelling, and revising, and then publishing.
I give them like an informal assessment. So basically, I try to find out ano ba ang reading level niya. So parang if I want them to work independently, I give them something that I know na kaya niya gawin mag-isa. And then, so which is like a level below. When I want to push them, so I give them either on level or a level higher, but definitely with scaffolding.
Assessment is key kasi you cannot begin teaching without knowing where your kid is. And then, we apply that Goldilocks, not too hot, not too cold. So because you want to be able to challenge the kid but not intimidate the kid also kasi you want to develop a love for reading. Kung sobrang hirap naman yung bigay mo, baka hindi na bumalik.
Actually, where I work, it's more of best practices because we kind of have several strategies. So like we use Spartan, we use Arden Gillingham, we use Slingerland. So based on the kid, we kind of make like a remedial plan for the kid. So not all kids have the same program.
Yeah.
It's individualized.
Well, actually, for the older kids, like for me, mahilig sila magbasa na kung anong lumalabas sa movie house. Kasi I think it's more pop culture. And since you want to espouse love and interest for reading, so we start with what they are interested in. Well, they also have reading selections from schools, from the school that they go to. So usually to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Sometimes what they are reading in school, that's what we use na rin to be able to teach them the skills or the comprehension skills that they need.
But for little kids, it's more of hit or miss it because you kind of have to show them, okay, do you kind of like this? So you kind of have to look for something talaga that they want.
Yeah.
So we kind of sort through the books and then they choose their own books. But I categorize lang na, okay, you can pick from here to here because that's the reading level.
Yeah. Let's just say very detailed. Dinidescribe talaga namin what we do, the techniques that we use, and then how the kid responded to the techniques. And then we also put recommendations.
Yeah, so more of like strengths, weaknesses, and then recommendations what to do next, especially if they're gonna continue.
Yeah.
And even more so, they're moving to like a different center because parang we want to do also proper endorsement naman.
We also give suggestions or recommendations of what the parents can do naman at home. Recommendations of what they can do for the next program and then what the parents can also do. So you basically get a complete picture of where the kid is at. Okay, sige. Well, sa older kids, it becomes more of the attitude na pag older.
But younger,
Kasi-
it's more of helicopter movies. Yeah, because parang sometimes napapressure din nila yung kid eh. Even if the kid is not ready.
Yeah.
Parang they will say, teacher, why isn't she reading? But she's 4. The pressure is there na, that's which also contributes to ayoko na magbasa for the kids.
Older kids, it's yung nagiging rebellious. Nakaka-develop na sila ng attitude problem na, I don't feel like doing that today, or
Yeah,
teacher,
especially
I think
because
some other
they
day.
feel kind of conscious also
Yeah.
na, my friends don't come here, why do I have to be here? So parang they get that rejection feeling na, I don't want to do this anymore.
It's a mixture of a lot of things eh. Na they become resistant because they're either tired from all the things that they have to do in school. Yung pressure nga, and to add to what Eliza said, most of the parents, they push them or they expect too much. Those are the difficulty for us to be able to teach the kids in a way that we want to, but normal. I mean, that's part of the teaching job. So we just do whatever we can to make the session, as fruitful as possible. Biggest difference, I think it should also start with the parents. I mean, at a very young age, the parents can already start exposing the kids to books. So it's really exposure talaga eh. So the parents can really take that active role talaga. And syempre the teachers who they encounter in school every day. And for schools, they have to at least be mindful of their curriculum. Are they actually
Matched to the curriculum.
I think when the parents actually tell you na, teacher, salamat parang, nagbabasa na si ganyan, nagbabasa na yung anak ko. Yun yung that's the thing that gives us a lot of joy. And when the students themselves, they want to go and attend your class. Like they're excited to see you. Na parang, teacher! It's not a chore for them to go. Yeah. So parang that's a reward in itself already.
I had a student who, when I got him, he was already 11 and kakasalita lang niya. So parang super speech delay siya. He's actually aphaxic. When I got him, sounds lang. As in, super sounds lang. Di ko alam kung anong gagawin ko sa kanya. As in, talagang every day na magkakasession siya. Talagang, I wanna go home. I don't wanna be here because it was so hard. But today, I still teach him after
how many years?
almost 4 years. And he is now blending. I know it's like it's super bagal progress, but he's blending.
Yeah. Those are the small victories.
Yeah, it's just small victories talaga. Parang alam mo yun, parang when I got him, I was like, hindi ako magtatagal talaga. I didn't see him in my future. But 4 years later, here we are. He's still my student. It's really more of my boss's project. They go around and then they kind of teach public school teachers. Like they give seminars for free. Yeah, awareness for public school teachers and then for teachers who are in the far areas. Nagpupunta sila. And even for preschools in our area, they conduct seminars for the parents as well to to expose them to, okay, this is what you should be doing at home before age 4, parang ganyan. So parang to prepare reading awareness and stuff, and prepare the parents and the kids for how to read. Like sinasabi mo kayo na it starts at home.
I think they really have to get the parents involved.
Yeah.
Collaborating and educating. I think the parents and what role they play in how they actually encourage or discourage their kids from reading. I'm a very big advocate of really collaborative, it's a team effort, hindi lang iaasa ng parents sa school lahat, which most of the time happens. But the parents don't know na the kids actually spend a lot of time also at home. Sometimes yung tinuturo namin sa school or sa intervention, hindi naman follow-up sa bahay. So parang hindi na re-reinforce. So if there's one thing I'd like to happen is, I think for the parents to be educated about how reading actually works. Yung collaborative teamwork between the school and the home will do wonders.
For me, for preschools to be more aware on age-appropriate practices.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, ang dami-daming preschool kids na nahihirapan because they are pushed to learn things that they shouldn't be learning yet. Some kids, I mean, in Finland, they only learn how to read at 7, right? So, parang here in the Philippines,
Dapat review ng DepEd.
oo, maybe they should double-check or review the curriculum to be more age-appropriate.
But I think they should also recommend what parents can do just in case, for example, the kid is not able to meet the standards kasi that's their standards.
Yes.
You really cannot do anything about it. But for the schools also to be very compassionate and very helpful to the parents. Kasi minsan it's like, hindi, kailangan lasal lang. But there are actually other schools that can cater to the needs talaga of other kids.
And I think it's like one whole integrated plan from letters to sounds, then to putting them together to form words, and then words to phrases, and then sentences. Overall, the plan is really good.
We will only just remember how it feels. Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours still remain. Let it slide. Let your troubles fall behind you. Let it shine till you feel it all around you. And I don't mind if it's me you need to turn to. We'll get by. It's the heart that really matters in the end. Our lives are made in these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours still remain. All of my regret will wash away somehow, but I cannot forget the way I feel right now. In these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate.